lunch and learn section, you'll have every archived lunch and learn there for you. So today, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about regionals, and like if you've got any questions about submitting those projects before Friday at 11:50, then you can ask me those questions. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about DPOJs, because last year I thought we'd get a lot more DPOJs than we actually got. And what I told people is there are some really kind of gimme categories. And one of the reasons why maybe we didn't get one is because this is all kind of happening around the start of the whole pandemic, and so everybody just was kind of rushed. They had other things on their mind. But there are three kind of gimme categories in STLP for DPOJ, and that's one is digital art. Okay, your kids are doing digital art almost every day in some capacity in their schools. Graphic design is another one, which depending on who you talk to, it's either graphic design or it's digital art. There's some things that kind of overlap there. And the other one is infographics. I see a lot of infographics, and I saw a lot of infographics when I would walk in and out of schools last year on stuff like endangered species or the water cycle. Lots of infographics out there. So digital art, infographics, and graphic design are kind of your basic gimme categories as far as DPOJs go. It's something we could have every school submit something for those categories, but we don't. So I'm going to show you a really quick and easy way to kind of yield some DPOJ digital art stuff. All right. And before I go any further, I'm going to demo this, how to do a snowman in Google Drawings. I'm going to post a 5-minute tutorial video that I created earlier in the week, because I actually taught this lesson to 2nd and 3rd graders at Jacob Elementary this past week. And so this is just a quick video that I posted in their Google Classroom before class, and then I did a live demo and all that kind of stuff. But so I'm gonna do a live demo with you, and what your goal would be if you're like struggling, man, how do I get DPOJs? Have a winter break contest, like a snowman or snow person building contest, and so you could yield possibly. Let me go ahead and share my screen. For some reason, I was thinking I'd share my screen. I'm not. So you could have a winter break contest where you're like, okay, we're going to have a snow person building contest in Google Drawings. Who can draw the best snow person? And so you might see something like this, and all this is just, it looks very basic, but all of it is just circles or ovals. And then this is the polyline tool, which I'll show you in a minute. The penguin is made almost entirely out of ovals, except for his hat, which is the polyline tool, and then the rounded rectangle tool. So just shapes. So if you've never used Google Drawings before, you're probably used to the Microsoft Paint world, where you open up Paint and you just start using brushes and pencils and all that kind of stuff. Well, Google Drawings, you really don't have that tool. You have something called Scribble, but it's not the same as Microsoft Paint. So mostly what you're doing is you're using shapes in the polyline tool. And you can do some more, in-depth digital art doing something called vector art, which is something Bloom Elementary did last year. And it actually won them first place in the digital art category. But this is just kind of a basic overall thing you can do to get DPOJ digital art from your students. Okay, so this is something I recommend, having a snow person building contest, either for your STLP, or you can make it for a grade level, or you could throw it out there if you have a classroom of your own, have it as a classroom thing. Hey, just like, we're going to have a snow person building contest, and you take your best two and you submit those to DPOJ. All right, so here's how you do it. This is a blank digital drawing, and so the very first thing I'm going to do if I'm on a blank Google drawing is I've got this checkerboard pattern. What that means is this is a transparent background. So if I right-click on this background and I go to background, and remember on a Chromebook, the right-click is just a 2-finger tap on your trackpad. You can change the background to a color. So I might change it to a light blue or a dark blue or whatever. And so there's my background. So now I've got a solid color as my background. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my shapes. And remember, in Google, there are so many things you can do that happen. You can do it more than one way. And all of this is explained in that video link I shared with you guys in the chat. But I'm going to go ahead and go to shapes, and I can go to shapes, and I can go to the oval, or I can go to, again, insert shapes this way. So both ways I can get the shapes. I'm just going to choose the oval tool. And then I get my crosshairs. And so I'm just going to draw my circle down at the bottom. I draw a big circle down at the bottom. And it's going to default to this light blue color. But how do I change the color? Somebody yell out, how do I change the color here of this oval?
The fill bucket.
Go up. The fill bucket, which you're probably familiar with if you use Microsoft Paint, the fill color, right? So I'm going to do fill bucket, and I want white for my snowman base, and I can always resize this and make it a bigger circle if I like. And then, there's nothing wrong with having kids just keep going back to the well and going shapes, oval, and then shapes, oval, and shapes, oval. But you can also teach your kids to do Control D. Okay, click on this, Control D. Control D. So now I've got 3 snowballs that I can make various sizes for my snow person. All right, so there's his body, and here is his head. I'm going to resize this. All right. Remember, if you mess up, and this is in the video too, you just hit undo or edit undo, Control Z, and I'm going to do his head. All right. Okay, so now I've got his bottom half, middle half, and his top half, or top part there. And so now I'm going to do some shapes for his eyes. Again, I'm still sticking with the oval, right? Because these are lumps of coal. So I'm going to do my lumps of coal. All right, there's one. Remember, it's blue. I can change that to fill bucket, black. And then I can just Control D, and I've got another little eye there too. Okay, so I've got 2 eyes. And then I can just do the same thing for his mouth, over and over and over again. Just arrange those how I want. And again, this is all in that video, that 5-minute video that I shared with you in the chat. So now, so far I've just used ovals, right? But now I can use different shapes. So I might use shapes, and I'm going to go shapes. I'm going to go to a triangle for his nose. Now I can use this triangle or a right triangle. Whatever triangle you want, or you don't have to use a triangle, but he's going to use a triangle. So I'm going to make his carrot nose. And so there's his carrot nose. It's blue. It's always going to default to blue. And I'm going to change that to orange. All right. So there is his orange carrot nose. And now here's the tool that kind of is a really cool tool to teach kids. And it's really where you get the most creativity out of Google Drawings. It's the polyline tool, which is not under shapes. Okay. That's something to note, and it's said in that video as well. It's under the line tool. So line and the polyline. So if I go to polyline, and the thing about the polyline tool is it has to end where it starts, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to click. I'm going to do his hands now, or his arms. So I click from the body, click, 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 just the tree branch arms, click, click, click. I'm going to go back to the body here, and I'm going to click, and then I got to connect it right back to where it started, and then there it becomes a solid shape, right? And I can do the same thing over here. I'm going to go ahead and change that to a brown color, though. Fill bucket, again, make it brown. And then let's do over here, same thing, click, click. Every time I click, it's a point. Click, 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 click. Click, click. All right. So there's his arms, right? And so then I might add a hat. So I'd go to insert shapes or that shapes button again. Oh, here's an important thing that's mentioned in the video. If you just start clicking again, you're gonna be stuck on that polyline tool. This polyline tool can go forever if you do not connect it back to where it started. Okay. So you're gonna want to get off that. So I'm gonna hit undo to take it off. And then to get back to normal, you just click on the select or the little arrow. Okay, so now I'm back to normal. I'm going to click on my shapes. I'm going to go to shapes. I'm going to go to my rectangle, and I'm going to go build a hat. There's his hat. I'm going to do black for his hat. And I'm going to do another rectangle or a rounded rectangle maybe for the brim of his hat. All right. And then go from there. And so there's my snowman basically, right? I could add buttons if I wanted. I could add other things in the background, but there's just my basic snowman. And that's just something, you could send home that or video or post that video in a classroom somewhere, that 5-minute video, and kind of show your kids, okay, this is how you create with Google Drawings. And the thing I'm really kind of most gunning for here is not necessarily the snowman, but if you give kids the idea of, man, I can create a snowman using just shapes, what else can I create in Google Drawings? So you maybe have those kids that go, okay, well, I can create this. I can create a dragon. I can create I don't know, a squirrel, whatever they want to create. But yeah, so this is just an easy way of, like, if you get some really awesome snowmen from this Google Drawing contest you do over winter break, you can turn the best two in for DPOJ digital art. Okay. So just a thought there. Any questions about this?
Russ, I think I must have missed the very beginning when you first started this presentation. So my question is, okay, I know we're having the snowman, and this is Kim Curry from Indian Trail, by the way. My question is, since we're having this contest as for snowmen, but what I just also heard you say was like, oh, if I can create this, then I can do all kinds of things. So could our kids submit a haunted house that they made in Google Drawings? Anything they make in Google Drawings is potentially a DPOJ project. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And so that's the thing is, like, this is more for if you're really struggling, like, man, how do I get DPOJs? This is just an easy way for you to get DPOJs for digital art. So last year at the beginning for digital art, we maybe had 10 to 15 schools submit digital art projects for DPOJ, when I know that so many other schools are out there are doing it. But the thing is so many people think they have to specifically do a digital art project to collect those DPOJs. And so this is, if you are like, I don't know how I'm going to get DPOJs, this is just an easy suggestion of, like, hey, let's have a snowman or snow person building contest over winter break. And so you might yield 2 to 10 to 30 submissions. And from there, you pick your best 2. And then if you get nothing from December to February, you have something in the tank where you can go, well, you know what? I can go back to those snowmen and we can submit those as our digital art DPOJs. Okay.
Thank you so much. That really clears up DPOJ. That's my beast that I always struggle with.
Yeah. So it's just basically, if you're like, man, I don't know how I'm going to get a DPOJ. This is an easy way to do it.
And Russ, I haven't watched the video yet, but would that video be a good thing to, like, if you're the STEM teacher, you're the LMS at a school, and you said just share it with the art teacher and say, hey, do you want an idea for a lesson plan for what you can do with your students? And then, the art teacher can actually help you get those DPOJs as well. Would that video work for that?
Yeah, absolutely. However you want to do it. Yeah, you could have the art teacher submit that as a winter break contest, a snow person building a snow robot, snow whatever, building contest for winter break. And then you've got something in the well for DPOJs. Yes, and somebody asked the question, Kathy asked the question, these aren't due till state, right? Well, they're not due. I think it's February, late February now that these DPOJs are due. I have to check again with Jeff. But like, these aren't due for a couple months. And so it would just be nice to have something to go back to and go, I've got this in the tank. All right. Any questions about that? Now, here's the thing. The thing about graphic design is, if I were to say, if I were to add to this word art and say snowman building contest, and I'm like, I'll put this on here, and I've got a, I'm just going to do this really. I put that on there, and I've got like the time, and I make it into a flyer and all that kind of stuff. Then this could be entered into the graphic design category, because that's a thing that people think about too. They're like, well, what separates digital art and graphic design? Generally, what separates it is there's text on the page. That makes it graphic design. If there's no text on the page, it's digital art. If there's text on the page, it's graphic design. All right, let's get that off there. Okay. Again, here is that video in the chat. If there aren't any questions about that, then possibly any questions about regionals and submitting by Friday?
This is Linda Gardone at J-Town.
Yeah.
What makes it infographics? You talked about digital art and graphic design.
Yeah, let me go ahead and find an example of an infographic and kind of show you.
And then I do have a question after this about the pitch
for
regionals.
Yeah. Here is an infographic. All right, so presenting again. Whoops. Entire screen. All right, so this is an infographic. Can you guys see that? Yeah. So it's just basic. So this is one on Alaska, right? And so they've got images and text on there, and they're just teaching you about something. So they've got facts on here about Alaska. And this is from a PD I used to do. Actually, these are 3 teachers that worked on this at Wellington Elementary. But like, yeah, so they've just got facts about Alaska there, right? Another example here would be one on Kentucky, where we've got facts about Kentucky. Kentucky is the nation's 3rd largest coal producer. We've got a source there. Kentucky has 18 species of catfish. So we've just got text, we got facts, we've got images that teach you something. Basically, you see stuff like this in magazines all the time. You see stuff like this on TV shows, on documentaries, particularly like Morgan Spurlock is king of this kind of stuff. Kamal Bell, his show, like king of the infographic type stuff. So yeah, you see that kind of stuff. This was actually last year's first place winner in I think it was middle school for infographics, and it's just this is from some not county, not JCPS, but like it just talks about corn, and it's teaching about corn. So yeah, that's an infographic.
Okay. Kind of thought that was what information on it with graphics, but just wanted to verify. So on the pitch, I have 3 students who are going to be, doing the intro and the what and the how. Do the other kids who are going to be involved in actually building what we're going to be doing, do they need to be on that pitch, or can it just be the 3?
It can just be the 3.
Okay. Yeah, that's good, because I don't know about anybody else, but trying to do this virtually and reminding kids to show up for meetings has been a bit challenging.
Yeah. It can just be the 3.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions about that?
Linda, I was just gonna add what I would actually, the way I made it easier for myself is I just went to a particular class and I asked the teacher, who are some kids in here that you think that could do a project and do it pretty quickly? I asked them to just give me like 3 names. Those were my kids that I actually just did the pitch with. Now, if it gets accepted to state, then that's when we said, okay, then we'll add more kids to whatever our finished product is.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I actually just set up an STLP Google Classroom for J-Town for us to communicate. And yeah, it's just, I know a lot of them, some of them are my 5th graders, so they're dealing with their backpack defenses right now, but I just wanted to make sure, and that's what we've been doing as well. And then But thanks. That's a good idea because some of them are dropping off. You know, it's like they thought they were going to do it, but now once they see what's involved, they're like, no. So even though I have a little bit of a team, it might be something. And I'm really wanting to do more of this DPOJ. I'm working with my art teacher, trying to, because she was to kind of use it with her gifted and talented kids because they're having trouble with that as well. So, but thanks for the suggestion. That's not a bad idea. If my kiddos keep dropping off, and this is my first time for doing it, so like, right, let's do this virtually, like for the first time.
I admire you. Congratulations on your first time. It was a little nerve-wracking that first time, but
yeah,
you got a good handle on it. So good job.
I don't know about the good handle, but I'm attempting.
You're trying, so you have a good handle. You're trying.
That's all you can do.
And, you know, is if you start off with this project and it's Jimmy, Johnny, and Janie, and they submit, but you know you end up with Jackson, Jamal, and Jerry at state, you know, it's not a big deal. Like that's the thing is like you're gonna, you know, if you end up with different kids ending this project than you did beginning it, then that's okay.
That's good to know.
Hey, Russ, do you have any word on Girls Who Code? I can't get the new Girls Who Code guy, it's a guy that's in charge of Girls Who Code, to get back with me on what the problem will be or how to go about doing that. Do you have any information on that?
Daniel Washburn. Is Daniel Washburn here? In here? No.
Can I take that question?
Yeah,
Please.
go ahead.
Hi. Hey, Kathy.
Hey.
Sorry, I was just trying to heat up my lunch. So we are going to officially roll out all of the Girls Who Code promo stuff this Friday. Wait, what's today? Wednesday? So this Friday. So I met with Matt Bulka, who leads the strategy. He's fine tuning the kind of the one pager about it, and we're going to push it out this Friday. So I'll make sure that you get it, sure. But it'll come through the Zone Google Classrooms.
Will it have information for DPOJ on there as well? We'll
make sure.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep. I'll make sure that connection's on there. Russ, touch base with Matt when you can, and let's make sure we get some info on that as well. Make sure it's on there.
Okay.
Great question. Hey, everybody. I'm so glad you're all here.
I have a question about the Girls Who Code. On the super sheet, there is now a line through Girls Who Code that says, currently the Girls Who Code H2 is realigning Kentucky service staff. I can't see it. It says the category is on hiatus for 2021.
Okay, that's good to know. So yeah, I know that. That is interesting. So they did update that then on the super sheet. So that's good to know, Heather.
Well, Russ, I'm thinking about Girls Who Game. Did she say Girls Who Code or Girls Who Game?
Girls Who Code.
Girls Who Code. Kathy, disregard what I said. Girls Who Game is coming out Friday. I cannot keep all our girl initiatives straight. I apologize.
Okay, well, I'll look at that too.
Yeah. So, Kevin, you bring up a good point. If on the super sheet, if there is a line through something with a bunch of DPOJ categories, unfortunately, this year there are probably going to be a lot of lines through them for 2021. But yeah, so I would think that, you know, depending on what that says, it says currently, yeah, it's on hiatus. So it doesn't look like there's going to be a DPOJ category for Girls Who Code in 2021 or in 2020. I'm sorry. 2021, actually. Yeah, that's what.
Did you say yes or no?
It looks like no, because they've got a line through it. It's on hiatus.
Okay.
Okay, Russ, Paula Wolf asked in the chat, we were going to submit a Girls Who Code on Friday. Should we wait? So is the Girls Who Code DPOJ the one that's crossed out? But if your regional project was still a Girls Who Code, that's still good to go, right?
You can still do that as a regional project.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of confused. Some of these are kind of confusing because there's some bleed with DPOJ and regional. But yeah, if you know, because you can do something in Minecraft as a regional project as well. But there's also a Minecraft category in DPOJ. So yeah, you've got Girls Who Code is part of your regional project, then that's absolutely perfect. Any other questions about Friday's regional submission.
Hey, Russ, did you walk us through the submission process for that? Can you go back over the submission process for that?
For what is it? Oh,
for the submission.
Oh, for regionals. Okay, sure. Yeah, let me go ahead and present my screen again. I think it's bit.ly that. I'm gonna have that bit.ly handy. Is it bit.ly STLP regionals 2020? Possibly. Nope, that's not it. Because the thing was, it wasn't linked on the STLP website the other day. He had a special site on there. Let me go ahead and see if he's got it up here. Register here. Here we go. Yeah, so if you're on the STLP website, if you just go to stlp.education.ky.gov, you go to regionals, and then he's got it linked right here where it says submit links to projects, register here. You click it, and it'll take you to his special Google site that he's created for regionals. And so the big thing is this red part here where it says submit links. And then you'll have a Google form that's embedded, and you just kind of go through that Google form, and you would just type, of course, your email address. Next. And then you would say you are a state recognized STLP. Yes. You say your school district name, which is Jefferson County, your school name, which was whatever, Lane Elementary, whatever, Low Elementary, whatever, your highest grade in your school. A lot of you are going to be K through 5th, 6 through 8, 9 through 12. Next. Of course, these are all required questions. So it's like one of those things where you're going to have to go through this, and it won't let you leave anything out, which is a good thing, actually. I won't submit all the way. You say your name, your first and last name. Again, I'm just typing stuff as an example. Judge, usually the judge is you. So Curtis, you're probably your own judge, right? So you would just put your name again, your email. And then, so then it makes us do a valid email address because it's really annoying like that. That's okay. Because when you actually do this, you are going to want to put a valid email address, right? Regional would have been at, yours would have been at University of Louisville, okay? So that's where the regional would have been at, is University of Louisville. So I'm not sure exactly what he's using that information for, but maybe it's just for his own records. Next. And then from there, you get a project title. So the project example I've been using the whole time has been that Minecraft Virtual Playground. So I might call mine Minecraft Virtual Playground. Okay. And then from there, I pick my division. I pick, if I've got a link to my recorded Google Meet, that's where I paste that link. Okay. It goes right here, the URL. If I have more than one project, this is where I start submitting project 2 and project 3 and all that kind of stuff. But if not, then I'm just good to go, and I can hit next. Okay. And then you say, yes, you verified your URLs. That's important to make sure that, if you've got if you can look at your account or look at whatever link you're submitting through a Gmail account. So you sign in as your personal Gmail account and see if you can watch the link or look at the link you're submitting. That's important because judges you don't want to leave it restricted to Jefferson County, right? You don't know if your judges will be Jefferson County people. So we want to make sure that your URLs are public or anyone with a link. And then media release means your kids all have their photo video permissions, and that's it.
Thanks, man. I did have another question, though. It said, have all your projects. If maybe we wanted to do a DPOJ, but that isn't until like February, will be held liable, I guess, for that if we don't have it now, if they're not due until February?
No, you don't worry about DPOJ until February. We'll start talking about that next month. So yeah, DPOJ has nothing to do with regionals. Nothing to do with regionals. Okay.
Remember, kind of like Russ talked about last time, DPOJ can be separate, but if you want it to be part of your regional project, where what your work you're doing for regionals leads to DPOJ as well, you can do that. But either approach is fine.
Shannon asked where you go for the video permissions this year. That should be a link or form in the parent place, the JCPS parent place site. And it may be as simple as, you can check there. The teacher probably has access to those, or you could even just probably ask your kids, or even send out your own form to your kids in your STLP and say, do we have your permission to, are you okay to be on video or for a photo release? Now, do say, and when your kids are doing their pitch, though, I would try not to use last names. So if I'm Jerry Smith, I'm just Jerry. Hello, I'm Jerry from Low Elementary. That kind of thing. Not hi, I'm Jerry Smith who lives at 406 Browns Lane. That kind of thing. So yeah, try to keep it on a first name basis.
Thanks.
In the email, I mentioned being able to turn in a Google slide presentation. Is that a possibility if you can't get the time under 2 minutes? Yes. He's being very, very generous this year, and he's actually getting more and more generous as he goes. You probably saw the email where it's like, you didn't even have to register for part 1. Thank you all for registering for part 1. But he's being very, very generous this year. So if you feel you can't represent your project in a 2-minute time recorded video, then a Google slide presentation is fine. Good question. All right. Anything else?
It's Linda again. So I was looking under the rubric and it said to have the STLP logo.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm planning on doing a Google Meet, the kids are practicing on their section of it. Any suggestions to get that logo in there?
Can somebody print that out, or have it on on a screen and just kind of hold it up at the beginning? So it's like
that's what I was thinking. I was almost wondering, does Google Meet allow you to create your own background, or like you can upload, or is it locked to just theirs? Because I thought we could do a screenshot of one and then.
Yeah, you'd want a video editing thing for that. What I would do is I would just do a slideshow and have the kids share their screen on the Google Meet. And so when they begin talking, they've just got the STLP logo. And you can only have that for maybe like 3 or 4 seconds. Say, hey, we're the Jeffersontown STLP. And like, there's the logo right there.
Yeah.
From there, it just clicks off, and then it's the kids talking. All right.
Okay.
Rest of your slideshow. But it's just an easy part of, you could just have them share a slideshow with the logo on it.
Okay.
A single slide.
Okay. That's a good idea too. All right. We're meeting today to practice. So that's why I'm trying to get all this in and kind of work on it. But I knew maybe one of the kids, maybe their parents have a color printer. Does it have to be in color, or can it just be black and white?
Does not have to be color. Does not have to be color.
Cool. All right. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.